Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. Deputy Vice Chancellor, Teaching and Learning, Professor Sandile Songa, DVCs, Deans, and Head of Schools who are present. Interim Senior Director, Student Services Division, Professor Fikile Mazeboko, President of the UKZN Student Representative Council, Mr. Malusi Zuma, the staff of UKZN, most importantly, the parents and guidance of all our new students. Greetings to all. My name is Noma Zondo, the Executive Director of Corporate Relations at UKZN, and it's my privilege and great pleasure on behalf of the University of KwaZulu-Natal to welcome you and to this important session. Ordinarily, we will be gathered physically at one of our campuses, but unfortunately, due to COVID-19, we had to scale down on physical events. This is why we opted to make this a virtual meeting. Despite us meeting virtually, we still believe that this engagement will serve its purpose, which is to give you insights into the university, its vision, and plans for the academic year ahead. Secondly, this session will also allow you as parents an opportunity to engage with the UKZN staff and management, and feel free to ask any questions you may have using the Q&A platform that is available on the Zoom platform. I should also mention that there have been questions that have been asked prior to this session. Because when we are sending out invitations, we did ask people to send any questions that they might have. Such questions may be on matters related to our fee structure, concerns about residences, safety, return to campus plans, and also safety and security, and many other questions. So with us here today are members of staff from various divisions, including colleges, who will respond to those questions. We therefore hope that you will walk out of this session empowered with relevant information and confident that allowing your child to register at UKZN was the best decision. We look forward to supporting your children in their journey of learning. We want all our students, regardless of circumstances, to achieve their full potential. Our task is to make it possible, and our mission is to provide a conducive learning environment and support your children as they journey to inspire to greatness. When we say the University of KwaZulu-Natal is one of the best, we say so confidently because this is backed by facts. Let me mention a few examples. For instance, the University of KwaZulu-Natal was recently ranked as number 3 in the country in the university rankings, which is academic performance, which is one of the ranking agencies. Secondly, our students continue to excel in academic sports and research. Last week, our fourth year medical student, Mr. Mohammed Solman, was appointed as student editor of the International Journal of Medical Students. And our academics continue to raise the flag high. One of this example is Professor Ngoza Dloba, who is now one of the only 3 full professors of dermatology in South Africa and the first in KZN in the past 71 years. We can cite many examples, but we simply don't have time today. All these achievements by members of the university community have mainly contributed to our efforts of building confidence in this great institution. We urge you as parents to partner with us on this journey and ensure that UKZN continues to be recognized is a center of excellence. By being part of this session today, you have taken that first step towards partnering with us for a successful academic journey that your children are undertaking. Ladies and gentlemen, my task was just to welcome you to this session and not to deliver a speech. We have people who will be coming through for that. We embrace you and thank you for choosing the University of KwaZulu-Natal. I would like to call upon Professor Songa to address you and will be followed by the President of SRC, Mr. Malusi Zuma. I'll be back then to facilitate the segment of question and answers and other related aspects. I now hand over to you, Njingalwazi. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Executive Director. And a warm welcome to all who are here today. I bring with me greetings from the Vice Chancellor and also a message from the Vice Chancellor, which I will be giving to you shortly. We are pleased, really, that you could join us. So I want to say to you, first and foremost, good morning and welcome. And I'm really delighted that you are able to attend this special occasion in the university calendar. We are grateful for the opportunity to welcome you, both parents and guardians of our UKZN students. In common with the start of every rite of passage, the beginning of a university career is not only a time of heightened emotions for our students, it's also one for parents and guardians. This is a poignant moment here today, with pride laced with a certain degree of apprehension. Neither you nor your sons and daughters are alone in this journey. I felt similarly in my first year at university, and also many years later when, as a parent, I found myself in the same position that you are in today. But at this moment, let us give justifiable pride its due. Your sons and your daughters have already demonstrated exceptional talent and drive just to secure their places. Each of them is one of the 10,000 or so students who stood out against a pool of more than 225,000 applicants for entry as undergraduates in 2022. They have proved themselves to be exceptional even before they commence their studies, and we are very, very proud to welcome each and every one of them. As you will appreciate, our campuses are not and cannot be bubbles that are immune and impervious to the COVID-19 virus and pandemic. But we are in the fortunate position of being able to deploy resources, galvanize the community and staff and students, and to put into place all possible mitigation strategies to ensure everyone's safety. We take our duty of care very seriously. And I'm proud that at UKZN has managed to strike a balance between minimizing the risk posed by the COVID-19 and the continuance of our teaching and learning and research. Allow me to add that I am keenly aware that the past 2 years have been challenging for many of our students and their families. With the economic downturn precipitated mainly by lockdowns, many families are stretching themselves to pay for university. I know this is a huge challenge. At the same time, government funding is at an all-time low. So we have devoted special attention to our most disadvantaged students to ensure that they have the means to maintain their studies when remote teaching platforms have been necessary. Throughout the pandemic, staff and students have responded positively and in a great solidarity to the monitoring and safety measures we first put into place and update routinely. Coordinated through the creation of a COVID-19 war room. As part of our efforts, a team of health and medical experts of the university instituted large-scale and high-level surveillance, prevention and response measures to ensure that we were ready to deal with the COVID-19 cases detected in our community. We have in place a coordinated, cohesive strategy for preparedness, and the UKZN community has responded very impressively. The more quickly and comprehensively we respond to these external constraints, the sooner we will be able to fully restore the routine levels of social interaction that are at the heart of the university life. Throughout the world, universities are in the midst of unprecedented challenges, and we appreciate the conscientious responsiveness of our students to the constraints we must all endure for the sake of public health. We all appreciate how strongly and passionately young people feel about issues that affect them, and I welcome continued constructive dialogue with them on the many issues that concern them, and not only the COVID measures we have put in place. I want to close by saying I want to remind you that despite the persistence of COVID, this is still an exciting time to be a student at UKZN. Formally recognized as a leading university in Africa, with our international stature and reputation rising year on year, as the executive director has mentioned that we are now ranked number 3. We continue to ensure that your children have the resources they need to excel in everything from high quality teaching to state-of-the-art infrastructure. And because so many young people aspire to excel in the global economy, we are excited about UKZN's increased focus on international partnerships. We are actively developing opportunities for shared research, joint conferences, and student exchanges with universities in many parts of the world. As your children embark on this life-changing journey, they must be encouraged to take advantage of the new freedoms and opportunities that come with student life. During their time as university students, they will meet a diverse group of people and be challenged in many compelling ways. As teachers, we join with you, their parents and guardians, in encouraging them to make the most of the opportunities, not only in terms of knowledge and career prospects, but also in forging the kinds of friendships that last a lifetime. Parents and guardians, thank you for your presence today, and allow me to express the hope that you stay involved. I strongly encourage you to keep track of your children's academic progress and general well-being. We truly welcome and encourage your engagement. And thank you for entrusting the higher education of your loved ones to the University of KwaZulu-Natal. I sincerely thank you.
Thank you, Professor Songca, for those remarks. Mr. President, are you already? Over to you.
Yes, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. parents and guardians, fellow students, prospective students, Vice Chancellor and Principal Professor Nana Bogu, college DVCs, Dean of Students, Deans of various faculties and heads of schools, President of the UKZN Convocation, Dr. Qiniso Mlida, UKZN SRC Deputy President, Lungani Shezi, and all protocols observed. I salute your presence and warmly welcome you to this prestigious Parents' Day at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. My name is Malusi Michael Zuma, and I am the elected President General of the UKZN SRC, and I would like to express these remarks for and on behalf of the UKZN SRC. I would like to express our profound gratitude to the student population for placing their confidence in our leadership and abilities. I want to assure them that we will work around the clock to ensure that their needs are met, and that we will work around the clock to ensure that all their issues are attended to. As elected representatives, we are here to serve, and to serve all students regardless of their race, regardless of their cultures, belief, and as well as their preferences. We have been elected as the SRC to serve the student populace and represent the university and inspire greatness as much as we can. We have many plans as the SRC to serve the student populace. One, we have established a bursary to fund and help our returning students with registration fees, and we have been campaigning in all social media platforms to fund our SRC bursary fundraising campaign, which has been going very much smoothly since we managed to assist more than 200 students so far with that campaign this year. And in the previous year, we've managed to assist about 595 students. We have within our structures subcommittees that will cater for your academic and sporting needs. Our SRC is divided into 5 structures. We've got into 6 structures, I meant. We've got the SRC executive that is led by President Malusi Zuma, and then we've got campus CRCs, Campus Representative Council in various campuses, namely UKZN Edgewood Campus, UKZN Westville Campus, UKZN Pietermaritzburg Campus, UKZN Howard College, UKZN Medical School, which is the school for doctors students. We have implemented and coordinated mentorship programs to assist first-year students to bridge the gap between matric and online learning. We are aware of various challenges of migrating from matric to the university life. It is unfortunate that now the university is going to be online in the first semester. I want to assure each and every parent, each and every student that the UKZN SRC will always be available to make sure that the gap between the matric experience and the university life experience is attended to accordingly. We'll make sure that all queries are attended to, and if stipulated, we'll make sure that all your needs, from academics to sporting needs to all various needs, are attended to by the SRC. Please stay in touch with us and all our social media platforms, and we'll do our best to assist you navigate your challenges. We've got our page that is namely Student Representative Council that would like you all to follow the page. It's just written Student Representative Council, and there's got a logo for UKZN. It's a very, very informative page. That is where we release our statements. That is where we release the very much important information for you to know as to how you go about in the university and receive updates. That is also where you will receive the contact details of your SRC, because it is very much important to know your SRC to prevent yourselves from being subjected to corrupt people or corrupt individuals who claim to be university staff or university SRCs, and then assist you in return of favors in a form of money or in whatever service. And we condemn such behaviors as the SRC. That is why it is very much important that you make sure that you follow our page accordingly, so that you can get our contact details and know who is your SRC. We are here to serve you with diligence and integrity. It is high time that we all join hands and work towards making UKZN a great place to be. And I can assure you, UKZN is a great place to be. This is where your future is going to be made. This is where you are going to experience great journey, but it is very much important that when you experience such a journey, apologies for that, you make sure that you are in communication with the SRC of UKZN that is very, very much hardworking on the ground. We'll make sure that your future endeavors are well catered for. We'll make sure that your interests are catered for as students, but it is very much important that you remain in constant communication with us. Martin Luther King Jr. said, throughout history, it is the indifference of those who should have known better, the lack of voice of justice when it matters most, the inactions of those who should have acted, then have allowed evil to triumph in society, and I unquote. We have a long way to go, and that journey must start now. Registration for first year students is going to commence. It's from the 7th of February, it is Monday. The SRC will be on the ground, will be available on social media to assist online. We'll make sure that all links are shared. We'll make sure that we communicate with you. We make available our mentors that have been hired by the staff of the university. We make sure that they are available to assist you throughout the registration period. Key on our agenda is putting measures in place to ensure students face no hitches in doing their online work. It is for the first time that it is for the second time I meant that we are having to experience the online registration that is fully online and no contact registration. However, we will manage all challenges by making sure that our availability is always on the point. Hence, I said there's our page that will release our statements. On a daily basis, we will have our Zoom sessions as the SRC, where we will assist first year students, and we'll make sure that the Zoom sessions from various colleges are available on our students in making sure that the registration is proper. We understand the challenges that are going to be faced in terms of residences, in terms of funding. Our SRCs have got different and various members of the SRCs who are representing students in residences. And in those representation, they will make sure that you have your residences. We want to believe that you applied for residences in line with the application for admission, but we will make sure that no students is not accommodated. We'll make sure that students, there are no issues in terms of accommodation. We'll make sure that you remain in residences and register for residence accordingly. We will therefore work towards ensuring a better, convenient, and robust internet connectivity for all. Achieving academically is our main purpose here, and that must remain engraved on the minds of every student. As such, we must ensure a smooth and conducive learning atmosphere. New leadership must advance the student body and university. We simply must not continue to remain at the same, but we must grow. We must accomplish selflessness, commitment, adeptness, vibrancy, and the will to serve without intimidation. We need your help. Please work with us and engage constructively. Try to understand what part or role you have to play in the world in which you live. There's more to life than you know, and it's all happening out there. Discover what part you can play and then go for it. In conclusion, I, as the president of the UKZN SRC, will make sure that I coordinate each and every SRC member towards the advancement of the future and the mission and the vision of all prospective students of UKZN, as well as the returning students. We'll make sure that we engage on behalf of you to the management of the university, robustly so, in ensuring that all your needs and challenges are well catered for. We'll make sure that we curb all challenges when we combat all challenges that are ranging from various departments and students that will be in our universities. The struggle continues towards victory, and it also continues on behalf of the students and for the students. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zuma, for those remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're all eager to hear about our finance structure or our fee structure. We're now going to quickly play a video where the CFO is going to explain everything regarding to fees and also NFSS, but we are also going to allow you at the end to ask questions. We've already received a lot of questions. Some of them are already being answered, but we are having a Q&A session where we'll then address some of those questions live. Musa, could you please then start the video, and thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen.
Greetings to everyone, and thank you for joining our virtual Parents' Day. My name is Nontutugo Mpele, and I am the Chief Finance Officer of UKZN. I'm going to spend a few minutes giving you key information pertaining to fees that are charged by the university, as well as our student funding processes. The fees that are charged to students include tuition fees, residence fees, student levies, and membership fees for various clubs and societies. The tuition fees for South African students and for international students from the SADC region are determined based on the specific modules for which a student has registered for. For the 2022 academic year, the tuition fee charges range from 31,000 to 63,000 per annum. The tuition fees for international students from outside the SADC region are $15,857 per annum, which includes the international students levy. The residence fees are charged per semester and range from 38,000 to 48,000 per annum for all students, regardless of where they come from. When we come to student levies, we have a student levy of 270 Rand per annum, which is applicable to all students and is the student's contribution towards the operational costs of campus clinics, sports facilities, and student governance operations. All international students are also charged an international students levy of 1,980 per semester as their contribution towards the support they receive from the university's international office. When we come to payments for the fees for 2022, the initial first installment, often referred to as the registration fee, is payable in advance of registration. For students from within the SADC region, this amounts to 4,170 when registering for tuition and 3,180 when registering for residence. For students from outside the SADC region, this amounts to 100% of the annual fee charges. The second installment, which should cover 60% of the unpaid fees, is payable by no later than 30th of April 2022. And the final installment, which should cover 100% of the unpaid fees, is payable by the 31st of August 2022. Students who are fully funded for the 2022 academic year obviously do not need to make any of these payments because their sponsors would pay the university directly. With this, then, I will move on to talking about the university's student funding, which is a unit that is responsible for all operational matters that are related to bursaries, scholarships, and other financial aid to students. Now, if your child has received a bursary or any other form of sponsorship for their university fees, their sponsor or funder needs to submit a funding confirmation letter setting out the amount of the funding that has been granted. Once this letter has been received and verified, the student will then be coded as funded for the year, and this would enable them to register without making payment of the first initial installment. If your child has received confirmation of eligibility for Nispas funding, this would be picked up by the university automatically, and as soon as the student accepts the university's offer, they too can register without making any payment for their 2022 fees. Now, when we move to making payments to the university, it is important that all payments to the university are made using only the banking details on the university's website. Payments can only be made either through electronic funds transfer or at any standard bank branch. Remember to always include the student number and only the student number as the payment reference, as this will ensure that funds can be allocated to the student fee account promptly. And lastly, please be alert to scams that inevitably always surface from time to time during the registration period, and make sure that you do not action any payment requests received unless they have been properly verified. Also remember that you do not need to pay any individual to assist you with securing a place to study or a residence. The university already has staff that are employed to assist students in this regard. We wish you all the very best as you embark on this new and exciting chapter of your child's life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Musa, for playing that for us. I'm sure now we all are clear about the fees and the structure and everything related to the payment of fees. We now are going to move to the Q&A. As I said earlier, that we have actually received a number of questions. I'm going to then go through those questions, and then my colleagues will assist with answering some of the questions. I think we should just go straight to the fees related questions so that we can deal with those quickly, and then we can move on to other questions that we have received. Our colleagues will also help with some of the questions in case I miss some. But quickly, colleagues, we have questions related to fees, as I mentioned. The students or the parents are asking if there is any more time given for students to pay their registration fees, and also how does NSFAS fund you when you are doing one module per semester, how does the university assist the full-time students who are unemployed, who have unemployed parents to register at the university? When will the student know if they have been approved for NFSS, and when they can receive their laptops? How do they get a full statement of the program they are registering for, and how long does they need to wait in order to be financially cleared? And also if NFSS funded students need to pay registration fee when they register. I'm now going to allow colleagues just to address those questions before we can move on. Any takers? Jackie, I think your hand is up. Please go ahead, and then followed by Michael. Thank you for that. So let's just address the few questions that have been asked now. Over to you, Jackie.
Good morning, Norma, and to all the panelists and the parents and the students, welcome. Okay, in terms of the student fee question, the registration fee deposit needs to be paid upfront. You can't pay it off. However, if it's a returning student and they are having financially challenging situations, then they may use the acknowledgement of debt facility where we do assist students. That should fall into the question about parents being unemployed, or just generally a large part of our student community does have difficulty facing the fees. So we do provide for that, the acknowledgement of debts. I believe the form can be accessed online, or you can send an email to the different fee campuses, pmbfees@ukzn.ac.za, but you can get it off the iEnabler. I believe it is on there. So registration and res fee deposit, if it's applicable, must be paid up front. Does that answer the question?
Yes, I think so. Michael, you want to come through? Thank you, Jack.
Yes, good morning, Norma. Good morning to the panelists, and good morning to everybody else who is attending the session. I'd like to start firstly with the question around how will first-year students know and when will they know whether they have been confirmed for Nispas funding. So Nispas has already started to send us lists of students that Nispas has received applications from, and where they have completed the assessment of these students and found that the students meet the Nispas criteria. Obviously, when students apply to Nispas, Nispas also asks them which universities they have applied to. So Nispas has sent all universities lists and used their processes based on student information to send lists to different institutions saying, according to the information we have, these are the students that indicated they will be registering at UKZN, and these students meet the Nispas criteria. So when we receive that list during the week, we cross-check that against our admissions system to identify students that UKZN has made offers of a place, of an academic place at UKZN. So where a student has been indicated by Nispas as a proof for Nispas funding, and the student has been given an offer by one of our colleges, we have sent those students an SMS to advise them that we have received confirmation of their Nispas funding. We have appealed to those students who have not yet returned their acceptance of offer to do so immediately if they are coming to UKZN. So as soon as the students return their acceptance of offer, then our system will grant them financial clearance to proceed with registration. Obviously, students still have academic orientation coming up, So a registration will be in the coming week, as well as orientation sessions. So ideally, students should first attend the academic orientation and thereafter proceed with registration, so that students select the correct program and the correct modules for their that they intend to proceed with and major in eventually. So that's pretty much how the Nispas process works and how students will be informed. I think the important thing that also comes through in a number of the questions is whether Nispas students are required to pay a registration deposit. So this has been covered in the presentation by the CFO, that Nispas students are not required to pay a registration deposit. So in the case where students have paid a registration deposit, they will be able to claim it back if they have confirmation of Nispas funding. So the turnaround process is quite quick in terms of us receiving confirmation from Nispas that students are approved for Nispas, because we're able to quite quickly cross-reference that against our admission system. So it's really just a day or two from the time we receive the Nispas confirmation until we send out an SMS to the student advising them that we have received confirmation and loaded their Nispas status on our IT system, which is linked to financial clearance and registration. The other question that you had, Norma, was about laptops. So students funded by Nispas will receive a once-off laptop. The laptops are issued after students have completed registration. So the week of the 14th, which is the first week of lectures, during that week, we will send out SMSs to students notifying them that they can start collecting laptops. So that will be an ongoing process as registration continues. And there was also a question about students registered for one module, whether Nispas will cover or will fund students registering for one module. Now, it shouldn't be common that students are registering for one module, because generally students will register for full load in each semester. So the one module situation might happen towards the latter part of their studies, perhaps in the final year, where a student is just having a module outstanding related to the completion of their qualification. So the focus is more on whether the student is within the minimum period of study plus 1 year or 2 years. It's different for the new group of students from 2018 onwards. They fall under the N+1 rule, and students who registered prior to 2018 fall under the N+2 rule. So as long as they're within the minimum period of study plus the 1 year or the 2 year, then Nispas will still fund them to enable them to complete their qualification. I think I'm going to pause there, Norma. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. I think you have managed to address most of the questions that were asked. I'll also maybe request you to go through the Q&A and answer some of the questions that maybe were not covered. But I think most of the questions that are the burning questions, you've covered those, and also they were covered by the CFO's presentation. Thanks once again. I'll now move on to address questions regarding the residences, which a few. How do I apply for student accommodation? And if I haven't received any communication around accommodation, what should I do? If a child is not local, does the university secure accommodation for him or her? And one of the questions is about if a student is struggling to apply for residences, and if the person has not applied and now wishes to apply for residences, is it still possible to do so? They also asked about transport for off-campus residents. I think we can address those few questions. And some students have not applied via the CSCAO for residents. So if they can still apply for residents. Let me see who's going to take those questions. Susana, is your hand up?
Thank you, and Norma, I can take the questions.
Thank
When
you
it comes to the students that did not apply for residence, when you look at the frequently asked questions on residences, we've got email addresses per campus where emails can be sent to in terms of applying for residences and to check whether you have been allocated a space. We have committed to assisting first years with residence accommodation. So send an email to that email address that is provided, and you will be assisted accordingly. When it comes to transport off campus, we do have transport that is provided by Equa's Bus Transport. And as the first years go through the orientation program in residences, that information will be provided to them. Thank you, Norma. I think I missed maybe one.
Which one? Yeah, I think you've covered most of them, Susana. I think that you can also go through the chat and see if there are any other questions regarding residences that can be answered on that platform as well. But I think you've covered.
I have been responding to some of them on the chat, on the Q&A.
Okay.
Thank you, Norma.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now we're going to address questions regarding safety. Obviously, parents are worried about how safe is the children on campus or at our institution, and also how safe the women students in the residences, and also I think those are the few questions that we've received so far regarding safety. And also, if there are any other questions that are on the chat, they will be answered as well. So I'd like to maybe ask Trevor. I saw Trevor is here to address those questions.
Thank you, Norma. Good morning, everyone. I just want to start by saying the university is very serious about student safety on and around the campuses. Through our security services, risk management services, we put measures in place to ensure the safety and of all students, and that the environment is safe and conducive for teaching and learning for all students. Therefore, we put measures in place. And I'll just touch on a few because there's quite a lot of measures that we put in place to ensure that all students are safe in and around campus, particularly female students in the reses, and also when they're commuting to and from campus and from the residences. First of all, we have a 24-hour control room. All that information of the control room can be sought on the RMS webpage. Would give you contact numbers. So in any emergency, the students could contact RMS. We also have a 24-hour surveillance room, whereby our CCTVs, which are in strategic places like the residences, safety walk places, all around particular places that just to keep the campus safe. So they are monitoring 24 hours to ensure safety of all students. We have security officers that are in the security uniform and easily identified. They at each residence and strategic places around the campus, whereby students, male or female, could approach them at any time in an emergency. We also have supervisor team that goes around monitoring, ensuring that the security officers themselves are in their places and doing what they're supposed to be doing. We have a roving crime prevention team that they go around with the vehicle. They respond to emergencies as well and are kitted out in terms of dealing with any situation. We have access controlled turnstiles, doors that is accessed by a student card, which allows them to go in and out. We basically ask that the students use that for their own personal use and not to swipe other people in. That will help us to secure the campus. Because what we're saying is that safety and security is everyone's responsibility. And with the help of students, we can make it a much more safer campus, or campuses can be much more safer for every individual. Things like keeping their valuables safe, locking them up, and not walking around with laptops in the road, those type of things. For the unfortunate, if somebody is a victim, we have departments like the investigations department that would quickly deal with these issues and help the student through these situations. We also have a health and safety environment section that deals with health and safety on the campuses. We also joint venture with stakeholders around campus like the SAPS, Neighborhood Watch, the municipality, and so on and so forth. I'll just stop there now, Norma, because there's quite a lot of stuff that we have in place and I can go on for a while, but I'll just leave it there. And that ensures the safety of all students on campus, especially the female students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Trevor, for that. I think you've covered the most important aspect of safety on our campuses. I will also perhaps request you just to check on the chat if there are any other specific questions that you may answer directly. But thank you so much for that. I'll now move on to the questions regarding registration. The people having issues with registration and some struggling to accept an offer, and how are they gonna be able to get assistance regarding that. Also, someone who has received a firm offer and paid the required amount, but they haven't received anything regarding registration, and someone have a status, if the status shows E, what does that mean? And also if they can access or if they can be clarified. I think this is a returning student matter. If a student is registering online, how do they receive or get their student card and library card, which is also the same card? So I think that will be addressed. How do you select the modules you want to measure in? And how will a person, if he has financially, I think he has finally accepted the qualification he has applied for, how do they get to know about that? Is there a late registration? I mean, I think we'll cover the dates of registration and and also I think the acceptance has been also covered, but we can touch on that again. And I think those are the questions regarding registration. I'm hoping that colleagues from the colleges can assist with those questions, and also perhaps cover the orientation as well, because there has been quite a few questions regarding orientation, people asking if the orientation is going to be online and when it's happening and so on. And also while you're there, please cover the the first year student registration process. Thank you, colleagues. Let me just check who is going to start. Maybe I'll ask Prof. Hoskins to to respond to some of the questions, and then colleagues, you can also come through and add on that. Ruth, are you able to come through?
Thank you so much, Norma. Welcome, parents and students who've joined us today. It's really an honor and a pleasure to have you here as part of the UKZN family. I want to briefly chat about the First Year Experience program that will be run in each of the 4 colleges. And we want to encourage every single one of you to please join that year-long program, because it is a program that's going to support you and give you the necessary basic foundation skills to make your studies a success here at UKZN. So you will see that you will be allocated a mentor, a peer mentor. This is a postgraduate student who's been successful in their undergraduate studies, and they're going to basically support you and help you to actually transition to the University of KwaZulu-Natal. So by tomorrow, most of you will be allocated this peer mentor. The peer mentor then will work with you, and they will take you through lots of the questions that you're having now. They will be able to support you and answer all those questions. So you will be grouped into groups of students. So I see a lot of you wanting to actually socially network, which will be excellent. So you'll be put into a group of first years on your campus. And this will allow you also to transition socially. And also you'll be put into groups of people who have similar degree studies. Now, what I also want to point out is they will take you through the orientation program next week. Each college, our 4 colleges, will have a dedicated program. And in that program, besides onboarding you to the university, they will also have curriculum advice. So we will have teams of curriculum advisors, our academic development officers, and our academic leaders of teaching and learning in each of our schools, in each of our colleges. And what they will do is they will take you through the program and the modules you need to cover in your particular program of choice. So you were accepted for a particular program. For example, you were accepted for an LLB. You were accepted for Bachelor of Social Science in Geography and Environmental Management. So what they will do is then they will advise you, and also they will give you information on, now help you plan with your career pathway. What is it you're wanting to do with the qualification after you've been successful with it? So they will help you plan around your career path. They will help you plan then on what the correct modules to take for that particular program will be. So before we do anything with the online registration process, we will do the orientation, we will do the curriculum advice with you, and then we'll assist you with the online registration program. So I want to encourage all of you, every single one of you, to actually attend the orientation. Orientation and the FYE program will start on Monday the 7th, and we will run that until the 11th. We do note that we will have some students who will join the program a bit later, but we will accommodate every single one of our first-time entry students in that program. And the first year program itself, like I said, will run throughout the course of the year. That first module that you're going to cover in the first semester will cover your orientation and your onboarding, your induction. The second module is what we call the academic literacy module, and that's going to cover developing you as your academic skills, your writing skills, your academic literacy skills, how to actually plan, some time management skills, your research and your library skills, and that will be covered in the first semester. In the second semester, we have what we call a wellness and development module, and this will support you with all the psychosocial skills that you need as a student to cope and transition to higher education. And then the final module, also offered in the second semester, is the financial literacy module. We know that there is a clear link between how we manage the meager finances we have and how we cope within the context of higher education. So we want to give you some of those financial skills to cope with any funding that you have access to as a student. So please make sure that when your peer mentor contacts you, if you haven't already been allocated a peer mentor, please respond timelessly. You'll be put into a WhatsApp group with other students, and then your peer mentor is going to assist you. They will be your first port of call in terms of interacting with the university, and any query you have about any of the support divisions will then come via your peer mentor. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prof. Hoskins. Is anybody else that would like to come in as well and add on that? Let me check. Sally? Thank you, Sally.
Hi, Norma. Yes, if I can just add on to that. For students within the College of Agriculture, Engineering and Science, our orientation starts Monday morning, 9 o'clock. It's online. And if those students have not yet registered, please go to our website. So it's caes.ukzn.ac.za and click on our orientation webpage, and the link to register is there. So it's 9 o'clock Monday morning, orientation for agriculture, engineering and science. Thanks, Norma.
Thank you, Sally. Anna?
Okay, thank you, Norma. For the College of Land Management Studies as well, students can register for the orientation on our website. You go to the College of Land Management Studies, first year experience. We've got a dedicated website for first year experience, and there are Zoom links there where you can register for each of the sessions. Our sessions start from 10 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock from the 7th to the 11th of February. And also our mentors are also communicating this information in their WhatsApp groups. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna, for that. Is anybody else who want to add anything? Hi, Pindi, on the floor.
Thank you, Norma. I think we haven't answered the question about the acceptance of offer and the conditional offer, what the E means. The E means that you've been offered a conditional offer, which is normally based on your grade 11, grade 12 June in the trial results. And once the final matric results are downloaded and uploaded onto our UKZN system, we are able to change that into a firm offer. So if you still have a conditional offer on the system, or when you check your status, please email your relevant department or your college and just ask them to have a look at it, quoting your student number if you have it or you know it. If you don't, use your CAO number or use your ID number. Another question was around the acceptance of offer. The acceptance of offer, whether it's a conditional offer or a firm offer, you need to provide all the documents. If you have been offered residence, return the resident acceptance of offer form and the offer for the degree form. That must also be accompanied by the copies of the ID. It must be certified, a certified copy of your results, and every other document that goes with that. The challenge is the forms come in, but there are outstanding documents that are not accompanying the form. So normally you will get an email or an SMS requesting you to send the forms or the documents that are outstanding. So the delay is there most of the time. Thank you, Norma.
Thank you so much, Pindi, for that. I think let me just check if there are any other hands, if anyone wants to add anything, but then let me just go through some of the questions. I also want to play a section of our video that speaks to the student support services. So please do bear with us while we're trying to do that. And I've seen that people are thanking us for the data. Some people have already received the data, and some people have not received the data. For those who have received the data, make sure that you use it wisely. It's not for watching movies on Netflix or going on YouTube. It's actually for your studies. So maybe we'll address the question on those who haven't received data, because once you have accepted the offer and you do get data for you to be able to register, and then once you also fully registered, then you'll receive the data. As you are aware that our classes are going to be online for the first semester. So let me see if these guys are ready with the video, and we'll still go through some of the questions that have been asked. We just need to organize them quickly. So thank you for your patience once again. If there's anyone who wants to address the issue of data, please do so quickly. Perhaps those people who haven't received their data. Okay, maybe...
We have Prissy and Chantal from ICS online, if they could address that question.
Hi, Norma. Data was issued to all first-time students who accepted the offer so that they could actually go to orientation and do the registration. Data was also given to all registered students, and our next data allocation would be next week.
Thank you so much for that. I think you have actually answered the question. But if there's any other questions related to data on the Q&A, please do address those. Thank you so much. And we are now ready for the video. Musa, please take the platform.
A very warm and special welcome to you, parents and caregivers of the University of KwaZulu-Natal first-year students. I am Professor Fikile Mazibuko. I'm currently a Senior Director in the Department of Student Services Division. Your children are joining this university during the time and threats of a major pandemic, COVID-19. Be assured the university has taken measures to comply with international, national, and institutional protocols on COVID-19. We look forward to your support and participation when it comes to protecting your children, the students of the University of KwaZulu-Natal, against this pandemic. It is about our mindsets, our social behaviors, and remembering the 3 golden rules: sanitize, wash your hands, social distancing. We ensure that the residences for our students are compliant with all COVID-19 legislation and institutional framework. In essence, the Student Service Division is designed to provide accommodation services that add value to the academic project which has brought your children to this university. The division is about learning and living. We consistently strive to provide a conducive and safe environment for students to complete their qualifications in record time. Through the Students' Governance Development and Leadership Department, commonly known as SGLD, students acquire a repertoire of techniques, skills, and tools that equip them to navigate the new world of the 21st century. Furthermore, ensuring that they are successful global players in their chosen professions and fields. UKZN prides itself in the promotion of excellence in teaching, learning and research and community engagement. The role of student services, therefore, complements this and ensures the provision of a conducive environment that supports students in their academic journey and promote retention and throughput through effective support structures. We promote the university's vision by contributing to the holistic development of students as well-rounded, innovative, and socially responsible global citizens and leaders. University students are a community in transit. In 4 years' time, the young, capable students, that is your children, would emerge with their first degrees. In other professions such as engineering and medicine, maybe in 6 years, at least the student acquires his or her basic professional degree. Both academic and professional staff in the university work in a complementary and integrated fashion to strive for a completion of degrees and postgraduate diplomas within record and decent time. This is a global expectation. The government supports the higher education and training sector with the necessary resources to ensure access and success. The university prides itself in members of student leadership who lead by example by completing their qualifications and studies in record time. Here I'm referring to the student leadership such as SOCs. The Student Service Division is made up of the following key departments that are driven towards serving the general student population and striving for excellent service delivery all times. I'll just mention this department. You can find more information in our website. The first one is the Department of Student Residence Affairs, commonly known as DSRA, is a home away from home to at least 21,000 students of this university. The mission of this department is to provide a conducive living and learning environment to support our students as they pursue their degrees and qualifications. This environment also assists the students to grow to become well-rounded citizens who will have a positive impact in our communities, our country, and the world at large. The DSRA has offices in all the campuses of UKZN, that is Howard College, Medical School, Westville, Edgewood, and Pietermaritzburg. There are residences that are university-owned and those that are leased by the university. There are approximately 2,500 residence spaces reserved for first years on and off campus. For off-campus residences, transport is provided. May I emphasize that this department also has partnerships with private accommodation providers where students have direct contracts with the landlords. However, funding might not allow you to move from university-owned residences to private accommodation if there are still spaces available. Nispas students are advised to consult with the funding advisor in their colleges. Each college has a Nispas advisor. They will be able to check if your package will cover private accommodation costs. All residences are self-catering with 24-hour security with Wi-Fi connectivity. Residence rules and regulations are available online. The Student Funding Department allocates funding in 3 main categories of students' financial needs, which include loans, bursaries, and scholarships. The next department is the UKZN Sports. This department offers professional administrative support to the student sports clubs under the governance of the Student Sports Union. The department staff are qualified and experienced in their various fields, including but not limited to sports administration, events management, sports facility management, and coaching and management of sport teams. Services are offered in all campuses for all UKZN registered students. We also allow a limited number of staff, alumni, and public to join some of our clubs. The next department is the campus health clinics. The clinics offer primary health care services to registered students as well as staff. Trained and qualified staff provide services such as lay counseling, administration, and we also have sessional doctors. The disability support unit is manned by professional staff who are there to ensure that students acquire assistive devices allocated to appropriate residences, that is for both undergraduate and postgraduate students. The other department, Student Governance and Leadership Development, commonly known as SGLD. This department is responsible for overseeing, coordinating, administering, and supporting student representative council executives across the 5 campuses, the CRCs, that is the campus representative councils, and over 200 student clubs and societies across the 5 campuses. The SGLD plays an intermediary role between the university staff, members, structures, stakeholders, that is both internal and external, and the student leaders. In conclusion, the current global changes are not only about gloom and negative challenges, but also about great opportunities in the 21st century. At the University of KwaZulu-Natal, your daughters and sons will have an opportunity to explore the exciting future. Thank you for making the University of KwaZulu-Natal your university of choice.
Thank you so much for that, Musa, and thank you to Prof. Masibuko for that overview of our student services. I'm going to now go through some of the questions quickly regarding teaching and learning, as well as some specific questions that are directed to the colleges. So I think the first question is about, which I think has been answered, about lectures being online and for how long, what support is offered to students for online learning, when does the first semester start, and also something to do with practical training, especially for people who are doing physiotherapy and so on. How does a student go, how are they going to write exams, tests, if all lectures are virtual? I think assessment will be covered as well. How do you get a laptop? I think that has been addressed. And when will the student receive timetables and dates, times for practical training? Does UKZN provide, I think that we've been covered, we do provide data for students to attend to online learning. And when will the list available to parents to review and purchase books for the semester? And when will the first year students collect their student access cards? As everything is done online. So, and also maybe address the question about when will students return to campus as well. And let's see what else is there. Maybe let's just go through those questions quickly. I'm just gonna watch hands and see who wants to go first. There is a question also regarding a switch from foundation phase to senior phase, if that is possible. I'm sure colleagues from the College of Humanities or School of Education can assist with that. What are the fees? I think those has been covered. Fees have been covered, and also if there are any other career paths possible for people who are doing BCom accounting, and I think that can be answered. And I see there's a lot of question about WhatsApp group for different programs. I think maybe colleagues from the colleges can assist by answering that. And also there's a question about a person that applied was unsuccessful for the first choice to study medicine. Can she apply in a second year? What is the difference between applied mathematics and pure mathematics regarding the choice of measures? I think we have enough questions that we can address quickly. Thank you, colleagues. Can I see your hands so that I can recognize you and you can respond? Bobby, you can go. You can go.
Yeah.
Go
thank
ahead.
you. Thank you, Chair. Answering to some of the queries that have been posted regarding teaching and learning with respect to the College of Agriculture, Engineering and Science. As Sally has already informed everyone, the College of AES will have an orientation from 9 o'clock on Monday. That is the 7th of Feb. And during that orientation, numerous information will be given to students who are from the College of AES. And this will be regarding academic advice and registration online as well. So these students can get advice for the next 3 days, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. So 4 days, there will be academics who will assist students with registration. And on the 14th, the lectures will start online. So what students need to understand is that the interaction between students and the module coordinator and lecturers are on a class basis. So the textbooks that they would need for a specific module, the details of assessment, which will be online for the time being. In the College of AES, there are practicals for numerous modules. For those practicals, the students will be given permits to be on campus, and these students can come to campus to do their practicals. So say, for example, if it's a first year entrant in the college in sciences, they will have practicals for biology 101, they will have practicals for chemistry, they may have practicals for physics, geography, and so on. So these students will come to the laboratories to do their practicals. Assessments are of two types. There will be formative assessments, which will be building up of their knowledge and assessment of that knowledge. And there will be summative assessments. As of now, all formative assessments will be online, and summative assessments to an extent will also be online. But for any module, if the university approves and is expected of students to be on campus to write an assessment, they will be informed in the due course, but that will only happen over a period of time. The students in AES will also be shown how to come up or plan up with their timetable during this orientation. And as Prof. Hoskins have already mentioned, each student will be allocated a mentor. So these mentors will start on the 7th. I mean, many of them have already contacted the students, but they will be there right from the 7th till the end of this year, until November, on a one-to-one basis or in a group basis. They can have their queries, ask the mentor and sort it out. So that's some view for my college. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bobby. I see Anna also wants to come in, and I'm also going to ask Sam to address the question about the School of Education in the switch between foundation phase to senior. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Norma. I think one of the questions that is in the chat and in the Q&A is that some students have not been contacted by their mentor. What's actually happening is, as we get the list of students who have accepted FEM offers or have registered, those are the students that we are contacting. So for instance, if you accepted your FEM offer yesterday, we might not have contacted you. And also another challenge that we're experiencing is some of the students, the contact details that we have on the system are not their personal details. It could be an aunt, or it could be maybe someone who assisted them with, the application. So we're sending emails or SMSs to these people. So it also depends on whether they filter it back to you. However, what you can do is, if you go to our websites, you can also register. If you register on our FYE programs, at least we will know, and then we can allocate a mentor to you. So that's what is happening right now. If you haven't received a mentor, it's because maybe you have only recently accepted your FEM offer, or it could be that the contact details that we have on the system do not belong to you, or there could be maybe something wrong or an error in the number that we have on the system. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much for that. Samu, are you able to come through?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Zondo, for the opportunity. Good morning, Ms. Zondo, colleagues, parents, and students. Regarding the question about the Bachelor of Education, so the Bachelor of Education has 3 phases, which is the foundation phase, intermediate phase, as well as the senior and FET. So each phase has specific requirements, and it actually depends on the subjects that a student passed at matric. So we will have the daily Zoom sessions starting from a Monday, where we will further assist students and also with the online orientation. And also Professor Hoskins have already indicated that each student will be allocated a mentor. So we'll be assisting students with the curriculum and also the phase changes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samu, for that. Is anybody else who want to add anything before we proceed? I'm going to now ask Musa to just put up a video on COVID safety on campus and measures put in place for those who will be returning to campus. And then we can just round out the another set of questions, and then we'll be closing the session. But for now, let's get the video going, Musa. Thank you so much.
Greetings, warm welcome to the University of KwaZulu-Natal to all of you. It's a real pleasure to have you join us, your children join us, but very specifically in terms of you as parents becoming partners with us in educating your children for the coming years. So some of the concerns that we have heard from our parents is in terms of safety, given the risks of COVID-19. I just want to reiterate that as the University of KwaZulu-Natal, we have played a leading role in terms of the management of COVID-19. You may have heard about the university being among the first ones to actually set up a COVID-19 war room, the university scientists being amongst the ones to identify different variants of the viruses, the Beta and the Omicron. So all of this to say to you that we take COVID-19 risk very seriously. And for this reason, we are determined to ensure that all our staff members, but particularly our students, especially the ones that are arriving at the university for the first time, are protected and safe. And for this reason, we will be encouraging all of the students to ensure that they are vaccinated. We do not necessarily at this point have any forced mandate yet. It's something that the university continues to look at, depending on the uptake of vaccines in the university. There are specific areas in the university that we consider high risk. For example, working in the medical campus in health-related fields. These are high-risk areas. We therefore expect all our students there to be vaccinated. There are places where students will be working in close contacts in laboratories, some of them working in computer labs. We expect all the students doing these courses to be fully vaccinated. We also expect students who will be living in residences where we have seen outbreaks of COVID-19 to also be fully vaccinated. However, having said this, this is a responsibility that we would like to hold together as the university, together with you as parents and the students as well, in order to ensure that everyone is safe. We understand that for some individuals, this may be a difficult decision with various limitations. However, we have a duty to ensure that everyone in our environment is safe. We therefore welcome you once again and really encourage you to ensure that your children are vaccinated, are safe. The country has made vaccines available for everyone above the age of 12, and therefore there's no reason for any of our students not to have access to vaccines. With these words, I just want to once again welcome you and congratulate you for joining the university and looking forward to the journey ahead with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much once again for staying with us. We are moving forward with our program. We're almost at the end of our program, but I think most of the questions have been responded to, and thank you to the colleagues for making sure that they respond to the questions as they come through on our Q&A and also on the chat session. But we are almost towards the end, and I also want to let you know that this video is going to be available for you afterwards to actually watch at your own time, and also those who were not able to be with us this morning can be able to watch the video. Is anything else, colleagues, that you want to raise? If the question that was not answered, do you want to address that? I think you've been very good in terms of checking the questions and answering the questions. So if there's anything that you felt has not been answered live, perhaps you can do that. And can I also check if Trevor is still here, maybe to address the access onto our campuses, because I saw a question about a parent asking if they are able to access campus, or if they're able to go through or drop the kids and so on. But let's just address that, because I know in some of the campuses, I mean, the people are dropped off at the gate and you cannot go on campus. So maybe let's address that question, Trevor, if you are able to. Thank you.
Thank you, Norma. Most campuses, particularly Westville and the Howard campuses, where, in fact, maybe I must just put it this way, that at the moment, because of the COVID protocols on the campuses, they're not allowed to be dropped on the campus. So I think Maritzburg campus particularly is not that much of a distance, so that's not much of a problem. It's just the Westville campus and the Howard campus. It's a bit difficult right now for students and the parents dropping off their students. But if they could just bear with us for now until we are complete and have a plan in place to be able to deal with that issue. But at the moment, there's no traffic running through the campuses. Thank you, Norma.
Thank you, Trevor, so much. Thank you for that. If there's anything else, please raise your hand. Or I see Shelley. Shelley, please take the floor. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Noma, and greetings to everyone on the floor. I just want to mention a little bit about student support services, which is actually student counselling. And just to say that we know that this can be a challenging transition for many of you, for parents and for students as well. Big change from high school to university. You may be worried about your child, and your child may be worried about how they're going to settle in and so on. I'd like to just say that we are here for you all. For us, every student matters, and we do have student counselling available in every college. It is currently online due to the pandemic, but we offer a full range of services, and I'd really like to encourage students to seek help early. If there's something worrying you, please seek help from us. We are here. It is free. It is confidential. It is mostly done by qualified psychologists and social workers, and we also have a few student development officers, and the services is really, really excellent and is available for you. So I'd just like to encourage you to check the websites, your college websites, and look up student support services to see how to make a booking and to how to go about accessing our services. There's nothing shameful about asking for help. And what we know for sure is that students who ask for help timelessly do much better than those who don't. So I would just like to encourage you to use the service that is available. Thank you very much, and all the best to all of you.
Thank you so much, Shali, for that. I think it's very important to let the parents know that there is support for the students, for the children, especially when it comes to counseling. The services are available across, colleges, and all our counseling staff are here as well. If there's a question that you want to ask pertaining to that, you feel free to do so. They will be able to respond to you. I think we have come to the end of our program, and if there's anything else that you wish to be addressed, please do contact us. And also all the email addresses and related telephone numbers are available on our website. As again, this video is going to be available for you on our YouTube channel, and also you can visit our website for further information on various aspects of registration or orientation. Now I would like to call upon Professor Mazibuko to give us closing remarks. And again, thank you so much for being such an excellent audience, and also for your patience. I know online is not always ideal, but I think fortunately we were lucky. We didn't have a lot of glitches in terms of the network, and also I think we were also fortunate that we were not disturbed by load shedding. I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and thanks again for choosing the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Thank you. Over to you, Njingalos.
Thank you, Ms. Nomazondo. Good morning, everyone in the session. Firstly, let me take this moment to thank you, the parents, caregivers, and guardians of our new students. It's a very important event for us, particularly because in addition to transitioning from high school to university, they are also transitioning from late childhood to young adulthood, a very, very critical journey in their life. May I also extend a word of appreciation and gratitude to Professor Sandile Songa, our DVC, Teaching and Learning, who welcomed all of us on behalf of our Vice Chancellor, Professor Nana Poku, and also for his input on the core business of the university. Also, may I recognize and thank the senior academic leadership, members of the executive management committee of the university, the DVCs of colleges present today, the professoriate, deans of the various schools, and all academics from the 4 colleges. The professional staff, the diverse professional staff, some of them made inputs, and you've heard from both professional staff, that is professional student support, and the professional academic support services. All these professional divisions and departments are here to ensure that your daughters and sons succeed, to ensure that all layers that may pose a hindrance to their development and success are removed, to ensure that we create a conducive living and learning environment. May I also, through you, Ms. Zondo, indicate or emphasize that students, yes, you say students are a community in transition in terms of what they achieve at particular points in the university, especially when they finish their first degree or qualification. Automatically you become a member of our convocation. So we look forward to your sons and daughters achieving their initial qualifications and joining the convocation to again keep the light of the University of KwaZulu-Natal shining. Thank you to the members of convocation who are here today. The SRC president mentioned the president and the convocation in his opening remarks. To the SRC president and your team, we have a very diverse SRC in this university, a 44-member strong SRC under the leadership of the president across the 5 campuses. May I add to what Mr. Zuma said, that the SRC is also is made of students of the University of KwaZulu-Natal. They serve on the governance structures as per Act and our institutional, our statute, on structures like Senate, Council, academic structures within the 4 colleges. As he indicated, you will know that as a student, if in addition to other points of call for help, the SRC is your leadership. And thank you for the maturity, the servitude, the attuned leadership, and the contributions that the SRC make as we try to achieve and aspire for greatness in this university. To the organizers of this session, thank you very much, Ms. Zondo, under your leadership and your capable team. This has been a very informative, mutually informative session for all of us, not only for the parents. I think we are also learning a lot from all other structures of this university. Just to emphasize that we are all in this journey of the students, that is students themselves, parents, and UKZN in its diversity. We also believe in being a very accountable institution. So we want to be an institution of excellence and at the same time be accountable, mutually accountable to you and to us in the interest of the students that are joining the university in 2022. We hope that we will be able to produce well-rounded graduates of the 21st century. Thank you to all and all the best. Thank you, Ms. Song.
Thank you so much, Professor Maseboko, for those closing remarks. And I hope everyone had a wonderful session, and you've also been able to get most of information that you were interested in. So if we were not able to answer any of those questions, we'll also go through the questions later, and we will try and put together those question and answers on our platforms so that you can actually go through those again. This session will also be posted on our YouTube channel so that you can be able to watch later, and those people who were not able to join us this morning will also be able to do so. I would like to then thank you, thank everyone, especially the team UKZN who were here and were able to answer all the questions that have been posed from the parents and also from some of the students. I would like to wish you a wonderful weekend, and make sure that you stay safe, and don't forget to make sure that you stay safe, and also do wash your hands, and also make sure that you wear your mask because COVID-19 is still a threat, and we want to make sure that we come back to campus, and we are really missing our interaction with our students, and we're looking forward to meeting you in person in the near future. And those who are going to be going through orientation, please make sure that you get the information from our website, and also there's some links that have been posted on our chat. Make sure that you take that information so that we do not miss orientation, because it's very, very important that you are orientated so that you can navigate your first year at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Again, thank you so much, and have a good day.